Steve, episode 31, Igor Shesterkin number today of the Broadway block. It's been a long time. Things are good in the Rangers pasture. We're in second place in the Met, 35 points, looking up at the Caps, waiting to play them. Kane's behind us with 33, 27 for the Pens behind there, coming off a 6-game winning streak. What are you liking about the Rangers? Is this sustainable, this winning streak? Are we going to finish and make the playoffs this year? Steve, what do you think?
I mean, anything's possible. So there was a comparable year where we had a very similar start. I believe it was 15 or 16. And after that, there was a significant drop off of like 10 games in a row where we either went to overtime and lost or lost in regulation. So I don't want to say that we're definitely going to make the playoffs, but this is looking like a team that not only if we made the playoffs, we could play playoff hockey. I really like the way that we've been rolling the lines. I feel like there's confidence out there. And talk about going into the season that the adage was that everyone needed to know their role. I think when everybody steps out there, they know exactly why they're on the ice. So what do you like about I guess the last 6 games is what we're talking about in the winning streak. But what do you like so far about the first quarter or so of the season?
Well, I like it's a different show every night, meaning anybody could step up. Sometimes it's Adam Fox getting the production going. Sometimes it's Chris Kreider getting a power play goal for us. Some nights it's Reeves coming in with assists and that fourth line with Rooney and Gaudreau really coming in. I think Gallant's been making the right calls, like you said, with the lines. I like that if a line's hot, he keeps it out there. We've seen some good production from Kevin Rooney. One thing I am worried about is the Igor Shesterkin injury, even though it's come out as minor. We got 4 games this week coming up, all winnable games. But it's tough to see if Georgiev can handle the workload or if Igor gets him by the end of the week. Loving Chris Kreider's 16 goals this year already, 3 assists. Last year he had 20. We know it was a shortened season. Adam Fox has already tied his goal amount from last year. He's on pace with 20 assists already, coming in hot. So I've just been liking the team chemistry. I like that anyone shows up at any night. Sometimes Keandre Miller's having a night. Sometimes Trouba's in there blocking shots, getting stuff from the point going. So it's just been really fun to turn in the hockey. Every game we're in it. So just getting through the season, getting to the playoffs. Can't wait.
I think if I had to make a guess, we make the playoffs. I think sustainability, yes. But for like mathematically speaking, obviously I don't think we're gonna win like 60 games and only lose 20. Rough times might be ahead. We've already experienced a little bit of injury, but I made that comment and I still kind of stick to what I said about an injury, although especially a season-ending crushing injury like Sammy, like obviously we wish him the best, but it always opens up some opportunity. And lo and behold, Capo Caco at a perfect time, who was on a point scoring streak. It was already starting to really come into his own and starting to really just show that confidence into every shift, takes that role, goes to that top line, and we've been seeing some great production, not only from the line. Let's not forget that Mika Zibanejad hasn't been, I think he's been stalling out in third gear and still has another gear or two left in him to showcase what we've seen in the past, but on a consistent level. He's shown that he can be really explosive for really, really hot periods of time. So hopefully the better days for Mika are coming. It's funny, you and I were chatting about like, oh, I'd like to see more out of Panarin. You do the math, he's almost on pace for a career best season, and it's so quiet to see him do that. And you say, you're talking about Adam Fox. I can't agree more. Every single game, he looks like a different level above everyone else on the ice, and teammates included. Sometimes he's going to make a pass to somebody that would be a point if maybe he was on the receiving end of that pass. It's so fun to watch him, and with the knowledge that he's still so young in his career. So the youth is exciting for sure. What do you think about this stretch moving forward? We got the Blackhawks to look forward to tomorrow night. Lots of points that are going to really matter down the stretch.
Oh, we have the Blackhawks, the Avs, the Sabres, and the Preds. minus the Sabres in there, those are all teams that can win. I know we got that one on the Blackhawks the other night. We, as Rangers fans, still don't think that second goal counted. Luckily, Panarin had that game winner for us. Kind of what you said about Panarin. He's been a little quiet, but he still hits the shots when you need him. Like he had that open shot, he finished it. Like, sometimes with Mika, you're a little worried. Is he going to hit the post or go shoot wide, So Panarin's still doing Panarin things. Getting through the streak, Avs are a good team. I think they just got McKinnon back. Kadri's been playing good for them. Taze has been doing a lot for them. So Avs is definitely going to be a hard game. And then you don't want to fall into a trap game against the Sabres. But it will be interesting to see how this streak goes depending on our goaltending. Is Huska up there and starting one of these games? Or is Igor going to come back? We'll have to see.
Yeah, and I really actually loved that Georgiev as much as the injury was crushing, and it does look like it's going to be less than long term injury. But the other thing is, Gallant already said he lies to the media all the time. Like that's terrible information to just openly give to the fan base. Because what if he's lying? What if this is terrible? So there's that to think about. But I really actually like that Georgie got to get into a game before starting in that game against the Blackhawks. I think it was a real big confidence booster that he kept them in there. And before exiting, I mean, Igor Shesterkin, man, Vesna quality numbers, not only statistically, but he really does look the part in there. He looks confident. He attacks the shooter. He cuts down on angles well. He almost, someone said magic carpet. He almost looks like he's on a hoverboard, the way he moves around so effortlessly with still enough energy when he gets to that position to not be so scrambled to still make an athletic save from that position. It's such a treat to watch. But again, all of these guys that we're talking about, super, super young in their career. So exciting that for the meantime, they're locked up. We're doing well. There's clear chemistry. My biggest thing lately is let's talk about the lines. All four lines having unique identities. You know what you're going to get from them. As far as the four of them, what would you say is either exciting to watch? You name it. What would you say stands out to you?
Well, I think you kind of just said it right there that they all have their own unique identities. It's kind of like having children out there. Like you just kind of each line, you're like, oh, we got the Reeves line out there. Maybe we're gonna get a couple hits. Rooney's gonna make some plays on the puck, and then you get out there. The big guns are out there. You gotta like the special teams with the power play. Like you look at every guy out there and you're like, woo, I wouldn't want to be on the other team facing Zibanejad, Strome, Kreider, Panarin, Fox, and Lindgren. Like, just you gotta love it. So barring any major injury like the GAG line suffered in the 70s from Gene Rattel, like I think we're in a good place as long as we can keep this chemistry going and really keep playing the lines. And like I think Gallant's the man for the job. With if someone's not doing their job, he's going to find the right person to fit in on the lines. What have you
Yeah,
liked about the lines?
I mean, well spoken, man. I think that the continuity is going to be really key. And like you said, barring any injury, they seem like they're really set. And I think that is one of the things that Gallant, like you had kind of hinted at, is going to be keen on and allowing those lines to roll. And if everything's fine, then everything's fine. And I know that he's already sort of been well received by Ranger fans at large, it seems like, because Quinn was sort of known to rip somebody off of a line if they had a game or two of poor performances. But let's think about, too, Kako. There wasn't just every game perfect from him. There was a stretch there, I think it was over 10 games, where he wasn't registering a point, and he wasn't really showing like he belonged to be on that second line. And when I say belong, I mean to other coaches' opinions, he might have already been taken off of that assignment. So to see the continuity, to see him getting that spot, and then to take advantage when the injury happens to fully absorb that, and then the return on that, you want to say that Dryden Hunt's been doing great. What really it is the whole line just operating to their fullest potential, because Dryden Hunt, man, he has a spark plug. That kid can shoot the puck. That kid can have energy. I love how wiry he is and how feisty he is. And like, I'm not going to lie, when he hits, sometimes it's one of the loudest hits on the ice. And that boarding call the other day, call it what you may. I don't know if it deserved the full 5 minutes, but I like that level of energy from the guy, and it was effortless that he just like took this other guy completely off of his feet. So
He
I would
scored
love
that
to
game
see.
too, right? Dryden Hunt. I think he had the goal in the first period, and then he had the boarding call like
And
quick into the second.
and that's what was so unfortunate was because he was having probably one of his best games of his life. And this is one of those things that I think he's getting rewarded for the good play to be on a line with Panarin and Strome. And then you have just Panarin and Strome just already having that chemistry. So I want to say it doesn't matter who you put with them, but when you put a guy, for instance, like Kako, who's a playmaker who wants to make small, quick plays on the puck along the boards, maybe it doesn't necessarily play to the strengths of his line mates when you got Panarin, who's posted up on the complete opposite side of the wing. Kako's never going to really feed that puck 45 feet across the ice to him. It's never going to break out the way that they wanted to. Whereas Dryden Hunt, he's more of that like energy type of dude who's going to move it and then get to a good position. And then you have a playmaker like Kako with a streaky, sniping winger and a guy like Mika, who's I think yet to really come out of his shell. And then you got the kid line just buzzing, full of energy. Gauthier is really starting to look like
Really looking.
he's a problem.
You're like, now I know why you were a first round pick.
Listen, man, he's got all the tools, and we had said it in one of our previous broadcasts that we wanted to see a guy like Gauthier learn the style of play that would warrant him some time in the ice. And on a third line, maybe you got to know your role as a checking forward. And with his speed, with his just natural gifts, and throughout his career in other leagues, he's been known as a scorer. All that stuff's just going to come. I mean, it's basically predictable now, his move. It's like the classic NHL 2022, just the drag into the net.
Right to the net.
Very Rick Nash like, and
Every time I'm like, oh, there's a Rick Nash move.
it's so wonderful to see, man. And then they're all happy. You got Reeves leading them out. For now, everything's great. And talking about maybe some stuff around the league, you have the Blue Jackets who are on a 4-game losing streak. The Devils are 1-4-1 since Thanksgiving. You got the Islanders now on an 11-game losing streak. What
Elaine
else?
Vigneault fired, Jeff
Yeah.
Gorton to the Habs, a lot of stuff, a
Yeah.
lot of shakeup. The whole
And
Canucks organization.
yeah, and the reason for that shakeup is this 7-game losing streak. So what was very recently a very tough Metro division, for now, at least we're capitalizing and we're taking advantage. And I think for now that's all that we'll have. But I'm so looking forward to seeing the rest of this season unfurl. So
Let's hope we shut down Patty Kane tomorrow night.
yeah, big points. Best of luck, obviously, to the boys. Let's go Rangers, and we'll see you soon, man.
Rangers, see ya. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, brother.